It's not yet time, but I just thought I'd settle you down first.
Good idea.
You are unity people, after all. You have to be controlled. You're too, we gather too much. Good morning. Again, on this wet but healthful morning. Sun's not as bright as it was last Sunday, but the rain is sunshine in drop form. We welcome all who are here in person and all those online. We're going to be talking about some stuff that's up to us today. So we're going to start out, if you rise as you're able, with our opening song, It's Up to Me. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. And again, if it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I seek the truth, let me speak the truth. If I'm lost in doubt, let me believe. I know I can be the change I want to see. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I'm tired and stressed, let me stop and rest. If I'm feeling hurt, let me forgive. I know I can be the change I want to see. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I dream of peace, let me be the peace. If I start from love, I am love. I know I can be the change I want to see. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. You know it's up to me. You know it's up to me. You know it's up to me. Please be seated.
Good morning, church family.
Good morning.
And morning to you here in the sanctuary and out there on the World Wide Web or whatever. Good morning to everyone for joining us in person and joining online. And welcome to Unity of Lehigh Valley. My name is Peggy, and today I have the pleasure of assisting Reverend Ron Karstetter and our music leader, Mark Udemoser. So we appreciate each one of you and want to ensure that you have a wonderful experience at ULV. To our friends online, thank you for tuning in, and if you feel led to, please share this message with others. And at the end of the service, let us know in the comments if there's anything we can do to enhance your experience. Today, as I look around, I see many familiar faces of those whom I've grown to love and cherish. And thank you for your presence today and for creating a safe, welcoming environment at ULV. And I'm not sure if I see any newcomers today. Do we have any newcomers? If we do, welcome to Unity of ULV, and we affirm that this will be a time of blessing for you. So please fill out the visitor card in our welcome packet and drop it in the silver offering bowl at the back of the sanctuary, and we look forward to getting to know you better. So, our statement of affirmations, our lives are made up of many steps and many choices, but our journey is also shaped by the things we choose to believe and say out loud. Our affirmative statements express our beliefs as well as our vision and mission of Unity of Lehigh Valley. And I invite those in the sanctuary and online to join me as we speak these statements out loud. There is only one presence, one power, one activity in my life and in the universe, God, the good omnipotence. We co-create a awakened world of peace, harmony, and abundance. United in love, we provide a positive environment for all people to discover and express their spiritual nature. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes. For September, community is the core value we celebrate. Experiencing ourselves as connected, we honor each part of the greater whole in thought, word, and deed. We have several pieces of community news to share, so please join us for hospitality after the service today at the lower level. And today at 11:30 here in the sanctuary, we will have a meeting about revitalizing our prayer chaplain ministry. This meeting is open to both those who were previously served as prayer chaplains, as well as anyone considering becoming a prayer chaplain and interested in learning more about the important role our prayer chaplains play in the life of our community. So regarding our goods and service auctions, I'd like to invite Eva up to provide an update and the next steps. There's Eva.
There will be no cursing. So, our auction is up and running. When you go downstairs today, you're going to see on the wall all these beautiful colored sheets that PostNet and Marissa and Tina printed for us. It will have a better explanation of the items available. You will also see pretty close to the colored one, a bid sheet. Ooh, ah.
Thank you, Vanna.
On it will be the item number that will match the item on the colored sheet. And to be able to bid on everything, you need a number. To get a number, I don't care where you put it. If you have a lucky number, pick your lucky number. If there's just an open line, put it on the line. But if you want to bid on anything, you'll see that you'll put your number and then you'll put your bid. And then at the end, I think it's October, the second Sunday in October, at Hospitality will be when we will be ending the auction. So September is Community Month here. That is our core value for the month. And it's an awesome way, the auction is an awesome way to support our community. We have services, we have items, and we have food, which we all know. We love our food. So like I said, I'm going to leave the sign-up sheet for a bid number there at the back corner. And when you go down, you come down with your bid number and you go ahead and start bidding as of today. And the best of luck to all the winners. If you have any questions on an item, so like I'll use mine as an example. I'm offering an Italian dinner for 4 at my house with wine, of course. But if you sign up for that, what's going to happen is I'm going to take the 4 highest bidders. So if a couple wants to come, Jeanette, you want to come with your husband, you need to put down both of you and a cost per person. Just like I think Jeanette also has a dinner available. So please read the instructions. If you have any questions, please ask, because I want to make sure that this year we don't have any questions and people don't feel like they got what they paid for. All right? Oh, we got a question.
I signed up for a number.
That is your number. You are number 1.
Oh, I'm number 1.
You are number 1.
There you go.
Number 1.
Thanks everybody for your support.
Thank you, Eva, for that announcement. So just for your awareness, our September board meeting scheduled for this Tuesday, September 12th, has been canceled, and the board does meet the second Tuesday of each month, so our next meeting will be October 10th. Then this Wednesday, September 13th at 7 p.m., please join us in person or online for our World Day of Prayer service. Our theme this year is Heart of Healing. If you would like your prayer requests included in the prayer vigil at Unity Village on World Day of Prayer, please fill out the special prayer request forms for the daily word prayer and place them in the prayer box in the back today. It's on the back table. So mark your calendars for our next drum circle on Saturday, September 23rd from 4 to 5 p.m. here in the sanctuary. And our fall book study will begin Thursday, September 28th for 6 weeks. We will be reading Trusting the Gold, Uncovering Your Natural Goodness by Tara Brock. This will be in person only Thursday evenings from 7 to 8:30 p.m., and there's a $10 love offering per session, but no one's going to be turned away. And we ask that you sign up in advance, and there's a sign-up sheet in the back of the sanctuary by the door, and you also may sign up on Eventbrite. So mark your calendars and spread the news. Sunday, September 24th will be Youth and Family Sunday. And each fourth Sunday after that, we're excited to start rebuilding our youth and family ministry. And our fall calendar is quickly filling up. A reminder to sign up for our weekly emails and regularly check the calendar for classes and events page on our website for a complete listing of meetings, classes, and events. And for those seeking prayer, you can submit prayer requests through the prayer request form on our website, and you may also place your prayer request in the prayer box again at the back of the sanctuary. And our prayer partners at Silent Unity are available to pray with you 24/7 at 1-800-NOW-PRAY, or by emailing your prayer request to Silent Unity at unity.org. /request-prayer. And you can also use Unity's Be Unity app. Okay, as we continue our search for a new music director, we invite you to hold this affirmation. So let us affirm together up here on the screen.
Oops.
No.
There we go.
Filled with the spirit of divine love and wisdom, we are guided and directed in our thoughts, words, and our actions in faith, giving thanks that the right music director who brings harmony and inspiration through the gift of music is drawn to us with grace and ease for our highest good of this ministry, and so it is. Okay, so we move on to our congregational song.
I will now select that congregational song as you rise as you're able. I am the place. Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make right decisions and know the way, standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone. There's nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace, whole and free? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone. There's nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place, you are the place, we are the place where God shows up. I am the place, you are the place, we are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Please be seated.
And now Rick Stober will read the Daily Word.
Today's word is care. I am here and I care. Sometimes my heart goes out to a friend or even a stranger who is struggling. Other times my heart breaks when I learn of another's devastating news. In those moments, I feel the urge to help. I pray, affirming healing, peace, and comfort. I may offer financial support or material goods. I might call on the phone or visit in person. Even so, I may feel my efforts are not enough, especially when the needs are great. But the impulse to care is in many people. In the activity of God, streaming through so many hearts and hands. As I join my efforts with theirs, I trust we can lift up even the most dire situation. I am a caring presence ready to help, serve, and love. And from 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. So deeply do we care for you that we are determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also our own selves, because you have become very dear to us.
I'd like to do a number for you this morning. It's from Daniel Nahmad. It's called I'll Remember For You. Sounds a little like Willie Nelson when it starts, I'll admit that. A little more on the monitors, please. I can see in your eyes, you're so weary. I can hear in your voice, you're afraid. I can tell by a touch, you've forgotten so much of the truth. I'll remember for you. When the plans that you've made lay abandoned, and your dreams you have seen disappear, no reason to try when you're wondering why. Push on through. I'll remember for you. Don't you worry, even when you cry, 'cause every moment is in perfect time. Don't you worry, don't despair. You'll find the answers to every prayer. So sail on your deepest ocean. Go searching your skies above. I'll be calling you here when it all disappears from view, I'll remember for you. Forgetting is easy when going is rough. The illusion can seem so real, but just beyond what you see, you'll find you're enough, ever more than your human So sail on your deepest ocean, go searching your stars above. I'll be calling you here when it all disappears from view. I'll remember for you. I'll remember for you.
Thank you, Mark. So, deep community breath. I'm going to invite you into a time of affirmative prayer. And since we know that our prayer is not bound by geography or by time or space, I'm going to invite you to join me in holding the people of Morocco in love and light with us this morning. As we affirm healing and wholeness for ourselves, we also extend that to them in this process of healing and recovery for them. And so as you're comfortable doing so, I invite you to close your eyes and to become still for a moment and allow my words to be as yours. My healing is right here. It is in the air that I breathe and the surroundings that I see. It fills this space and it lives in my heart. It is in the light of day and in the darkness of night. It is in the clouds and in the sunshine. It is in the cells and atoms of my body temple. It is in the movement of my mind and in the activity of life all around me. My healing is at hand. It is nearer than breathing, closer than hands and feet. It is all present, ever available, abundant, plentiful. It is right here now, as I am. It is mine to quietly accept, to bring me peace, assurance, and blessings beyond measure. Its source is divine, and that source never runs dry, never is lacking, never withholds, and never denies. It is the same yesterday, today, and forever. It is within me every moment, and I praise and give thanks for this reality. And so it is. Amen. So today we're continuing our talk series based on the book Open Your Mind and Be Healed by Reverend Johnny Coleman. And so far we've explored health as our birthright, divine birthright, the faith factor, the thought connection. And today we're going to be unpacking this divine idea that there is no spot where God is not, that we live and move and have our being in the allness of God. And We live in a world of life experiences where God often seems absent. In an introduction to the book, Coleman writes, "The healing power of God did not originate with Jesus, and it has not ceased with you. It is at work right now. Open your mind to the allness of God that you are. That is all that is needed to break the bonds of pain, suffering, sickness, and affliction from all life, world affairs, that is due all children of God. The divine nature of you is not hidden from you. It is always with you. It is you. When we are gripped by sickness or disease or loss, we often turn every way but within." Coleman writes, "You do not want to hear any of that God stuff. But the very thing you do not want to hear is the answer to your prayer. You can never get away from who and whose you are." Could I have the next slide, please? This is a quote from Myrtle Fillmore from her book, How to Let God Help You. "Spirit is all. We are to bring the soul and body into the Christ consciousness, the right use of all that God gives. Where would we draw the line between spirit and the material when there is no evidence that God has placed such boundaries? No amount of pain or disease or affliction can hide the truth that you are spiritual, created to be healthy, whole, and complete. No amount of pain, disease, or affliction can hide the truth that your thoughts determine the kind of life that you experience. When you change the pattern of your thoughts, you change the pattern of your experiences." But what hinders us from leaning into and living into this truth of our oneness with allness, with Godness, with love? It boils down to this: what do you hold to be true, to be the truth of you? What do you hold to be the truth of you? In the Hebrew Scriptures, the book of Exodus, Moses receives a commission from God at the burning bush. He was to lead the children of Israel from the bondage of slavery in Egypt. Moses accepted the appointment with much trepidation. Why would his people believe that the God of his fathers, their fathers, would send him to accomplish such a feat? Because God is all that there is nothing else. And so with that awareness, God told Moses, "I am that I am. Just tell the Israelites that I am has directed you." What Moses learned during the burning bush experience is that the I am is God's name for himself. And so metaphysically, I am is the Christ mind or spiritual identity within each one of us as well. Therefore, Coleman reminds us to remember that whatever is true of God is also true of you. So let's think about this for a minute. How many times have you used the words I am? Probably more times than you can calculate. Remembering that this is God's name, in what manner do you use the words I am? Do you use these words in positive, constructive statements? Do you know the power that is in the name of God that follows that I am statement, that lives within you? Coleman goes on, the secret of healing from biblical times is that whatever you affix to God's name, I am, manifests in your life. The association can be conscious, unconscious, positive, or negative. If you affirm, I am sick, or I am inheriting this from my mother or father, what do you suppose is obliged to occur? You are an individualized expression of the one power, one presence, God, and we have the freedom to align with that truth or not. Freedom to choose what to say and do is ours unconditionally. You may use this power to identify yourself with all that is divine, spiritual, wise, holy, loving, and infinite. You are also free to identify with the illusions of pain, dis-ease, affliction, lack, and limitation. Living intentionally in alignment with our Christ nature may or may not change the condition, but it will change our experience as we navigate the human condition. And that shift in consciousness is where healing begins. Could I have the next slide, please? Coleman invites us to create the life that you want to express through the affirmative use of the I am. Affirm the words of Jesus. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am not alone, for the Father is with me. From this point on, Coleman writes, resolve to keep the passage to perfect health and wholeness free and clear. Your misuse of the I am constructs a barrier that will keep the appearances of poor health in your experience. And so I invite you to join me in affirming the statement on the screen. Intentionally, from the heart, lean into it, feel into it. I am the Christ. I am the Christ. With zeal, with conviction. I am the Christ. Amen. Choose to block out any thought contrary to this power, and your body, mind, and spirit will respond with a manifestation equivalent to your conviction. And so, what words do you speak over your life? Coleman shares this story to illustrate the power of a made-up mind that settles for less. A certain man went through a forest seeking a bird of interest he might find. He caught a young eagle, brought it home and put it among the chickens and ducks and turkeys, and gave it chicken food to eat, even though it was an eagle, the king of birds. 5 years later, a naturalist came to see him, and after passing through his garden said, "That bird is an eagle, not a chicken." "Yes," said the owner, "but I have trained it to be a chicken. It is no longer an eagle, it is a chicken, even though it measures 15 feet from tip to tip of its wings." "No," said the naturalist, "it is still an eagle, it has the heart of an eagle, and I will make it soar high to the heavens." "No," said the owner, "it is a chicken, and it will never fly." They agreed to test it. The naturalist picked up the eagle, held it up, and said with great intensity, "Eagle, thou art an eagle. Thou dost belong to the sky and not to the earth. Stretch forth thy wings and fly." The eagle turned this way and that, and then looking down, saw the chickens eating their food, and down he jumped. The owner said, "I told you it was a chicken." "No," said the naturalist, "it is an eagle. Give it another chance tomorrow." So the next day he took it to the top of the house and said, "Eagle, thou art an eagle. Stretch forth thy wings and fly." But again the eagle, seeing the chickens feeding, jumped down and fed with them. Then the owner said again, "I told you, it's a chicken." "No," asserted the naturalist, "it is an eagle, and it has the heart of an eagle. Only give it one more chance, and I will make it fly tomorrow." The next day he rose early and took the eagle outside the city and away from the houses to the foot of a high mountain. The sun was just rising, gilding the top of the mountain with gold, and every crag of the mountain was glistening in the joy of a beautiful morning. He picked up the eagle and said to it, "Eagle, thou art an eagle. Thou dost belong to the sky and not to the earth. Stretch forth thy wings and fly." The eagle looked around and trembled as if new life were coming to it, yet it did not fly. The naturalist then made it look straight at the sun. Suddenly it stretched out its wings, and with the screech of an eagle it mounted higher and higher and never returned. It was an eagle, though it had been kept and trained like a chicken. Can I have the next slide, please? Coleman writes, "We have been created in the image and after the likeness of God, but we have been made to think that we are chickens. So we think we are, but we are eagles. Stretch forth your wings and fly. Don't be content with the food of chickens." Coleman goes on to invite the reader, and I invite you, get out of that chicken coop right now. You cannot hide from who you really are. You are a unique, unrepeatable, individualized expression of God. The truth still exists within you, even though you have chosen to express something else. You do not belong in the barnyard. Any thoughts that hold you down or back are rooted in a chicken state of mind. I repeat, get out of that chicken coop now. That's your homework. You are capable of doing great things. Release the lock that you have placed on your mind and summon the Christ in you to come forth. Time has no status in the mind of God, so eliminate the need to punish yourself for unwise choices. There is nothing to fear by choosing life. You are choosing to take the words out of the books, off the pages, out of this church this morning. You are choosing to permit the all of God to express through your body, mind, and spirit, as it did in the man sitting by the pool of Bethesda. in the woman who touched the hem of Jesus' garment, in Peter's mother-in-law, the centurion's servant, and Jairus' daughter, all stories from Jesus' ministry of healing. There is nothing to fear by choosing life. You choose to follow your elder brother and way-shower, Jesus. You choose to bear witness to the truth that you are indeed a spiritual being, living in a spiritual world governed by spiritual laws. You choose to know that you are in perfect health regardless of appearances in body, mind, and spirit. You choose to acknowledge the Christ in the doctors, nurses, and loving family and friends and loving community who support you. You choose to know that wherever you are, God is. There is nothing to fear by choosing life. You choose to allow the medical profession and others to say what they feel is true. However, you choose to know the truth that you are made from the substance of God, and the substance of God is perfect, whole, and complete, changeless, ageless. Can I have the next slide, please? There is nothing to fear. Take your truth off the shelf. Choose life. Breathe into this. I am one with all the wisdom, all the mind, and all the health there is. I am one with the Father. I am spirit. I am one with all the wisdom, all the mind, all the health that there is. I and the Father are one. I am spirit. Breathe into that. If that is true, if you know that to be the truth of you, why do we get sick? Coleman writes that there are many schools of thought on this. The medical physicians give you the material reasons. The psychologists give you the emotional reasons. The theologians of orthodoxy say because you are ill because you sinned. But I see so many people sinning who do not get sick that I'm suspicious of that theory. Sometimes there is no one healthier than a good sinner. But in our science of mind, we say that sickness is the result of an unconscious negative conditioning over a period of time. When you feel that the actions of others or some external force has caused consequences in your life, you have put your truth on the shelf. Your belief that outer conditions, whether through people or situations, can affect you is an open invitation for the illusion of pain, sickness, affliction, dis-ease, and suffering to dwell in your body, mind, and spirit. But let's keep it real for a minute, real with a lowercase r. Even though we affirm that there is a godness as the source and substance of all of life, our life experience, this human condition, is not fair or kind. And we may call it an illusion, but it is as real as it gets. At the relative level, our life is in fact impermanent, and often why things happen as they do makes no sense. All of our lives, our own and those we love, have been touched by disease or accidents or losses of some sort. None of us are immune to that. And so how is God, love, benevolence, present in the midst of that? In his book, Reaching Out, the Three Movements of Life, Henry Nouwen shares the story of a student who had recently finished his long studies for the ministry and was ready to start in his first church, and who died suddenly after a fall from a bike. Those who knew him felt a strong, angry protest rise from their hearts. Why him? A noble man who could have done so much for so many. Why now? Just when his long, costly education could start bearing fruit. And why in this way, so unprepared and unheroic? There are no answers for all of these reasonable questions. A strong, angry protest seemed the only human response. But Nouwen writes, such a protest is the continuation of our illusion that we know what life is all about, that we rule it and determine its values and its goals. We do not, and are challenged instead to convert our protest against all of the absurdities of the human experience into a prayer lifting us above the boundaries of our existence to an awareness that we are held in the hands and heart, in the mind of God with boundless love and mercy. regardless of appearances. God is, I am. And in that I am, we are whole and complete. Like Jesus, we are called not to ask, why did this happen, but rather to ask, how can this be transformed into good? How can we heal? How can we empower? How can we love? This is our spiritual work and practice in unity. Jesus never asked, why did God allow this child to die? He never asked, why is this person paralyzed? He never asked, why are my people, the Jews, oppressed by the Romans? Jesus saw the appearance and he healed, he empowered, he loved with the love of God in the face of the human condition. And through his focus on being love in expression, lives were transformed, healed, and brought back to life. This is our calling as well. We are invited as metaphysical Christians to see differently, to see through the eyes of God, to see God unfolding, love unfolding, and showing up even in the absurdities of the human experience, even in the absurdities of our own lives, as our lives. Coleman writes that this love is the idea in God mind of universal oneness. It manifests in you as kindness, benevolence, and compassion. Love attracts, love draws to you the plan, people, and essentials to facilitate your healing, which takes place on many levels, body, mind, soul, and spirit. And so we open to it without attachment to any specific outcome. Love connects us to the ever-flowing river of health and wholeness. Love cements and joins us to the vitality of source. Love harmonizes. Love attunes our thinking, feeling, words, actions, and reactions to the prompting of spirit. And we are called to embody divine love, to be love in expression. New Thought author and minister Emmett Fox wrote that there is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer, no dis-ease that enough love will not heal, no door that enough love will not open, no gulf that enough love will not bridge, no wall that enough love will not throw down, no sin that enough love will not redeem. He goes on, it makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake, a sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If you could only love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world. And so the invitation for you this morning is to know that there is nothing to fear, to take your truth off the shelf, to choose life, to choose love, and to stand back in wonder as the glory of God is revealed in, through, and as you. Amen? Get out of that chicken coop. And with that, let's move into a time of meditation with the song, God Is, I Am.
God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am, God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am.
With a deep community breath, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable, or to lower and soften your gaze. We've heard a lot of words. Maybe we've had some ideas floating around in our minds. But now we have these precious moments together to release it all. to quiet our minds, to leave all thoughts at the threshold of our own consciousness, to move from new thought to no thought. There's within every one of us a still silence that speaks to us beyond words. It's always there, but it requires our attention to hear it, to incorporate it into our being, to live from it. This is the undefinable, unexplainable nature of our divine being that is always orchestrating every dimension of our existence. Just say to yourself, I am open and receptive. I am open and receptive to hear the voice beyond words. I am willing to set my own thoughts, my feelings, my beliefs aside completely, altogether, and allow myself to be a free expression of the flow of life. I receive it. I feel the warmth of its presence, and I know I can trust it. I know I can trust it to guide every decision. I'm grateful to recognize that I'm not here to live my life alone, that there are literally a holy host of resources available to me, perhaps unseen in this moment, but powerful nonetheless beyond measure. And in my release of how I believe things and people need to be, ought to be, should be, I let it be. I let it be. And all things begin to transform in my world through this simple gesture of immersing myself in stillness and in silence. And so we breathe into our center, which is God, and we rest in presence, in an awareness wherever God is, I am. In the silence, in the silence. With a deep community breath, we begin to bring our attention back to this relative time and space. We may hesitate to withdraw from this peaceful time of meditation, but our hesitation is quickly overruled by an upsurge of eagerness to meet the experience that lies before us with a freshly awakened consciousness of our attunement with God, the divine vibration. And so in this awareness, know this with me. I give my life to infinite intelligence and creativity to guide today. I trust the higher dimensions of my own being and my oneness with all creation. My steps are directed, my mind inspired, my life held in care. This I declare in the name and in the nature of all that is holy and true. So for this awareness and this quiet space for individual and communal stillness in oneness, we are grateful. And we open our eyes and our hearts to the gift of this new day. And so it is. Amen.
We are grateful for the offerings and gifts that you bring to Unity of Lehigh Valley. At our website, unityoflehighvalley.org, you can contribute by clicking the Donate button at the top navigation bar. You can also send a check to Unity of Lehigh Valley or set up weekly or monthly contributions directly from your bank. For those of you here in the sanctuary, please leave your offering and gifts in the silver bowl at the back of the sanctuary. And if you have any questions about donating, please contact ULV by phone or email. So we bless these gifts by affirming together. The activity of Spirit through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Thank you, friends, for joining us today in person and online, and for all of those in sacred service today as well, for making this happen. And for all of the gifts shared here today of time, talent, and treasure, gifts of presence and hospitality and song, for all of these gifts that sustain and uplift and grow this our beloved community, we are truly blessed and grateful. Thank you for your commitment to hold yourselves and one another in great and steadfast love. Moving forward from this space, may we continue to nurture spiritual growth. May we continue to travel along the winding pathway to healing from whatever brokenness we individually and collectively hold, knowing that we do not journey this path alone. And until we are back together again, go in peace, go in love, go forth and bless the world. Amen.
My turn, right?
Yep, your turn.
If you rise and form a circle around the sanctuary, we'll do the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of Oops, one too far. Okay, pick it. Don't tell me next. There we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, brothers and sisters all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.